The Eternal Sonship of Christ. George W. Zeller, Renald E. Showers. Chapter 2. The Pre-existence of the Son. Jesus said unto them, Verily, verily, I say unto you, before Abraham was, I am. John chapter 8 verse 58. If Jesus Christ is God, then he must be eternal. God has no beginning. There was never a time when he did not exist in all the fullness of who he is. Before the mountains were brought forth, or ever thou hadst formed the earth and the world, even from everlasting to everlasting, thou art God. Psalm chapter 90 verse 2. Some heretical cults deny Christ's eternal existence, claiming that he was a created being. In contrast to this false doctrine, the Bible presents him as the uncreated creator. All things were made by him, and without him was not anything made that was made. John chapter 1 verse 3. In the beginning, he was not created or made. In the beginning, he already was. John chapter 1 verses 1 to 2. The Apostle Paul declared that he is before all things. Colossians chapter 1 verse 17. The prophet Micah foretold that the Messiah would be born in the little town of Bethlehem. Who is this one who would be born? He is the one whose goings forth have been from of old, from everlasting. Micah chapter 5 verse 2. John the Baptist clearly pointed to the fact of Christ's pre-existence. John bare witness of him, and cried, saying, This was he of whom I spake, he that cometh after me is preferred before me. For he was before me. John chapter 1 verse 15. We can only understand this paradoxical statement as we distinguish between the two natures of Christ. When viewed from the standpoint of his humanity, he came after John the Baptist. Mary gave birth to him 6 months after Elizabeth gave birth to John. Luke chapter 1 verse 26. But as the eternal Son of God, Christ was before John the Baptist, eternally existing in the bosom of the Father. John chapter 1 verse 18. Perhaps the Savior himself made the clearest statement of his pre-existence. Speaking with a group of unbelieving Jewish religious leaders, he said, Your father Abraham rejoiced to see my day, and he saw it, and was glad. The Jews, understanding Jesus to be saying that he and Abraham existed on earth at the same time, were startled. Then said the Jews unto him, Thou art not yet 50 years old, and hast thou seen Abraham? They knew that Abraham had lived and died approximately 2,000 years earlier. They were shocked and angered by the Lord's final words. Jesus said unto them, Verily, verily, I say unto you, before Abraham was, I am. They considered this to be ultimate blasphemy and took up stones to cast at him. See John chapter 8 verse 5 and 6 and 59. Only the eternal God could make such a claim. Indeed, Jesus could have said, Before Adam was, I am. He even could have said, Before the universe was, I am. In fact, he did make such a statement. And now, 0 Father, glorify thou me with thine own self with the glory which I had with thee before the world was. For thou lovedst me before the foundation of the world. John chapter 1, John chapter 7 verse 5, and verse 24. God the Son basked in the sunlight of the Father's love before the world ever was. From everlasting to everlasting, he is the Son of the Father's love. The eternal Son is worthy of all glory, praise, and adoration.